In this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 problems that nobody's talking about when it comes to rental arbitrage. In rental arbitrage, essentially all we're doing is we're renting a place from a landlord, getting their permission to put it on short-term rental platforms. The guests bring in the money, you pay your rent and your utilities out of the money, and then the rest is yours. But what nobody's talking about is the risks associated with doing Airbnb. Now, here's the thing. If you've noticed, you'll see a lot of people getting into this industry. And the reason for it is because there's no barrier to entry. You don't need a massive certification. It's very low barrier to entry financially. Almost anybody can get into it. And so because of that, every Tom, Dick, and Harry says they want to get into rental arbitrage, which is a simple way of just taking the money from the guest, paying the rent, utilities, and then keeping the rest as profit. It's the arbitrage and the delta between the two. But what is the problem? In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 problems that nobody's talking about. And at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you how to solve each of those problems and how this can be a very lucrative business if you do it right and you know the tips and tricks and strategies that I'm going to teach you. Let's get right into it. Welcome to the B&B Blueprint. My name is Mike, and the 3 problems that we encounter, I've been doing this a very long time. Okay, the 3 problems that I see the most of are market research and property research. Now, what does this mean and why is it a problem? Because everybody can get in and get on AirBNB and can get on Zillow and different rental platforms and hot mappers and drive for dollars, and they can find properties. They believe that they understand that they're able to take this property that they know nothing about and say, I want to put this property on Airbnb. Big problem. Here's why. Let's say that you pick a property, know nothing about the area. Even if you lived in the area, let's just say that you thought this is a great area. What happens if you were able to get a property and perhaps were able to get past the landlord to say, you know what? Sure, put it on Airbnb. You see, that's the easy part. The market and property research is the hard part, because if you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know how to look for tours, like why are people coming in? Are they coming in to ski? Are they coming in to hike? Are they coming in to party? Are they coming in to, stay for the hospital? Are they have a family member at the hospital? What is the reason that people are coming in? Are there amusement parks? Are there lakes? Are there rivers? Are there, resorts? What is the travel destination? Guys, this is a hospitality business, and you have to realize that the people are coming in for a reason. Now, maybe sometimes people come in for weddings and, they're coming in for reception parties and stuff like that. But for the most part, people are traveling for vacation. That's why it's called vacation rental. Okay, problem number 1. If you get this wrong, it can be very risky. If you get the property and pick the wrong property, even if you got the landlord or homeowner to say yes, what if you pick the wrong property? Here's what happens. Say you pick a property, and for illustration purposes, this property is $2,000 per rent per month. And let's say that you brought in 5 guests for the month. Out of those 5 guests, let's say that your average dollar, your ADR, your average dollar rate per night is $150. So you brought in about $750, but you have a $2,000 rent payment. Where do you think the other $1,250 goes? Where does that other $1,250 come from? I bet you guessed it, right in the old pocket. So let me ask you a question. How many times in a row could you lose $1,200, $1,500 a month? Because you don't understand occupancy, you don't understand ADR, and so you don't understand the property and why people would even come there. But you only got 5 guests. Now you got 5 guests that paid you $750, your rent is $2,000, and now you have a $1,250 that comes out of your pocket every single month. And so what you do is you say, Airbnb sucks. I hate it, it's not a good industry, I don't like it, I don't want any part of it. No, it doesn't. You suck. And the reason you suck is because you don't understand educating yourself on property and market research. If you knew those things, you would feel comfortable scaling and not scaling chaos. Even if you thought you were amazing at getting properties, understanding the market, understanding the property itself, and you did this research. Now, problem number 2 comes, and that is where we need to figure out how we're going to get this landlord to say yes to us, because that right there is its own set of issues. I want you to picture this. You found a property. You contact the landlord. Mr. Landlord, hi, how you doing, Mr. Landlord? I'm calling because I really love your property. I love the area. I love everything about it. And here's what I would like to do. I'd like to take your property and put it on Airbnb. I have guests that come in, short term. Some of them are stay a little bit longer, but I would like to take your property on Airbnb. Landlord says to you, hi, James. Yeah, it might be something we're interested in. Let me ask you a question, James. How long have you been doing this for? How many properties do you have listed right now on short-term rental platforms like Airbnb, vrbo, bookings.com, Furnish Finder? None. Do you have any references I can contact to make sure that you're, been paying your payments on time every month? No. Yeah, Mr. Landlord, look, I was just thinking maybe you would be a guinea pig with your property and maybe allow me to come in and hello? Hello? That is what happens because you don't have the background. You don't have the units. You don't have the credibility. You don't have the landlords that are already being paid. It's like the chicken before the egg. And most people say to me, well, how do you get into this industry if you don't have that? I promised you one thing, guys. By the end of this call, I would share with you 3 solutions to those problems. Problem number 1, okay? Market and property research. The first thing you want to look for is 3 H's. Hotels, hospitals, and hills. Hotels, hospitals, hills. Hotels. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that a hotel would build a multi-million-dollar building there if they didn't do their due diligence and research first as to where to put that hotel? Of course they have. So if you can get a property around a hotel, you're likely to do better than somewhere out crazy in the woods where there's nothing there, right? Hospitals. Hospitals do really well when you're next to them because you have the traveling nurses and you have people staying in hospitals for surgeries, and then you have their families that need a place to stay while their loved ones are at the hospital. Hills. A lot of people love to hike, to mountain bike, to ski. If you can get around one of those, now you've got hospitals, hotels, and hills. If you can stay around these 3 right here, you're likely to get a better opportunity for that city. Now, let's talk about the actual property because now that's somewhat of a 30,000 foot view of the actual market. Okay, so what about the property itself? Do you think something with stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, nice wood floors would do better than something, built in the 70s, 60s that maybe has outdated furniture or outdated, appliances, really rough area? People want to come into a place, they want to see something nice. Okay, and what we have found is that the nicer to place the inside, the more likely people will rent from you. Okay, now here's the other thing with Airbnb that I think a lot of hosts are not getting. Across my portfolio right now, I'm sitting above 90% as of the date of this video. Across the portfolio, over 90% occupancy. Now, how do we get a 90% occupancy? Because we figured out 2 things. We figured out ADR and occupancy, the most powerful things in Airbnb business, which is ADR, your average dollar per night. How much are we charging per night? Just because data says you might find this on AirDNA and think that you understand it, doesn't mean that you're actually getting what you should be getting. You're probably leaving money on the table. Part 2, occupancy. The most important metric when it comes to Airbnb, okay? It's just like the hotel business. That's why I said this is a hospitality business. This is not like renting to your brother John, long term. You're gonna have people and guests going in and out. The more heads you have in beds, the more money you will make. It's simple math. So how do we increase our occupancy? Well, there's a few things. Number 1 thing is that you have to make sure that your pictures are, you guys spend all this time doing these videos and you spend all this time putting the place together, all this furniture, and then you take pictures with your cell phone. Professional photos. Number 2, think about a theme. A theme is very important for the decoration of the inside because people like themes. You don't want a picture of grandma's picture on the wall over here and then you got a cowboy over here. Pick a theme for the house that's consistent. People like accent walls, okay? I would do an accent wall, a painted accent wall behind the master bedroom, okay? I would also have a master bed, okay? I would not put a queen, I would put a master. I would also make sure the place is bright, airy, all the windows are open when you're taking your photographer, hire a professional photographer. Guys, it's $150, do it, it's worth every single penny of it. There are studies that show that you could 2 to 3x your bookings just by having professional photos. It's night and day, okay? These are just some tips and tricks and strategies I want to teach you that you need to know to increase occupancy, okay? Sitting at over 90%, we know what we're doing, okay? Your break even is generally at 50%. And so if you're over 50%, it could be profitable. So pick the right property, understand property and market research, okay? And understand, should you have a 1-bedroom, a studio, a 2-bedroom, a 3-bedroom. You can find this data on airdna.co, find the data there, see what everybody else is doing, and then do the opposite because you don't want to be saturated. So if you go to AirDNA, okay, and this is a paid subscription. By the way, all my students get this for free, okay, with my program, but you guys will have access to everything on AirDNA and you'll be able to look and see the city, the state, the actual property and say, does this make sense? Does this not make sense? And I help you with that. Okay, but if you go on there, you can check to see what other properties are doing. What are they doing? Are they have most of the properties 2 bedrooms or the 3 bedrooms? Are they saturated? Okay, and then you want to do the ones that are not saturated. With that being said, we have now figured out that we need to know how many bedrooms and baths should we have, what area we should be in, what areas are doing well, is the property something that we like that's updated and new, and how do we increase our occupancy and ADR? But the next thing is the solutions. What if I could share with you access to me directly, where you would be able to bounce any question 24/7 off of me to say, hey, is this a good property? Do you like it? Is this a good opportunity for the market itself? And I would say yes or no and give you a thumbs up or down. Do you think that you'd save more time, energy, and money by having somebody who's an expert in the space help you? My students love this because they can have access to me 24/7. I wish my mentor said, Grant Cardone, I wish he said to me, hey man, I'll tell you what, you can access me 24/7 no matter what. Just contact me when you're ready. Of course, I would love that. But here's the thing. I now give you guys access 24/7 to me. You get my full course. It shows you everything week by week. But more importantly, we do live calls. And here's the kicker. I am the only person that does this. I actually will get on the phone with you and the landlord and use my credibility, my background, the units that I have, the payment history that I have, to help you secure your first, second, or third deal. In other words, what I'm saying is, once I identify a property that I would get from myself and my family, and that's the property that you're sharing with me, and then you did your research, I help you with it, and then you come to me in the chat and you're like, look, Mike, in my private group, and you're like, look, Mike, is this a good deal or is it not? And I'm like, it's a phenomenal deal. Let's jump on it quickly. It looks good. Then I'm gonna have you contact the owner, set up a 3-way call with the 3 of us, and then you, myself, and landlord are gonna come in. Now, what you're gonna do is we're gonna get on the phone and I'm going to do the pitch for you. I want you to learn it, listen, learn it, understand what to do. So eventually you will do this on your own. I don't wanna feed you a fish, okay? I don't want to do it for you, but you're gonna listen in a couple times. And now I've got students that call me and say, look, I've already pitched a landlord, they're ready to rock and roll. Now, one thing that I've been very successful at doing is actually getting 4 to 6 weeks of free rent on the front end. And that is because of the credibility and background that I have. 4 to 6 weeks of free rent. So you walk into the place with maybe just a security deposit. That's how you get your foot in the door. That's that chicken before the egg. I had someone help me and now I'm passing it forward to you guys. So I can be on the phone, get the deal done for you, get the landlord to say yes, and then the agreement is in your name because I've already got them to agree to this. That's the solution, guys. And I'm the only coach doing it. So thank you guys for watching. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you need help at all, you will see 2 things inside my description box. Number 1, I'm gonna put my script, and I'm gonna show you guys how to put the script inside of Zillow so that you can start getting some action going and getting some movement with people saying, yeah, I'll teach you guys how to have landlords eating out of your hand to do a deal. And 2, you'll see a link where you can book a free 15-minute strategy call with me, not one of my employees. I'm actually doing it myself this time. I'm the one doing the call. So you'll see 2 links below. Download the script, book a one-on-one with me. Let's talk. Let's see if it's something we can work together. If not, completely fine. No harm, no foul. But here's the end of it. Remember this. If I had 2 choices, choice number 1, I can go to start a gym for $100 a month and I can go hit a heavy bag or a speed bag. I want to learn how to box. Or 2, Mike Tyson sitting there with me at 7 o'clock in the morning at the gym waiting for me to train me. Who do you think would be a better boxer in 6 months? I'll let you think about that. Click the link below, guys. You'll see the 2 things I'm talking about. A book a one-on-one with me and you get my free script as well. That's my gift to you guys. Love you guys. God bless. Be safe. And I'll look for you on the call. Let's roll.